Hello my beautiful friend and welcome back to another daily video. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about Silent Hill. Well, it's the latest Konami Silent Hill and it's the most Silent Hill-esque game that has ever Silent Hilled. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about the articles that I'm going to show you today and then my personal experience with the game. First of all, this is an article by Automaton Media. As always, I'm going to link everything in the description box down below. Future Silent Hill games won't necessarily follow Silent Hill formula, producer says. We want to keep experimenting with each new title. Amidst Silent Hill's success, series producer Motoi Okamoto talks about what players should expect from future entries, and this is something that I'm really interested in. Silent Hill has shipped over 1 million units in just one day after launch, becoming the fastest-selling title in Konami's psychological horror series. Yeah, well, because after Silent Hill 2 remake and all the positive PR that was all around, the word to mouth for Silent Hill was incredible. Critical reception has been just as strong, with the title earning a review score on par with last year's Silent Hill 2 remake. Amidst the game's success, series producer Motoi Okamoto recently commented on what players can expect from future entries. Talking to IGN Japan at Tokyo Game Show 2025, Okamoto says, starting from the 3 hour 1 minute mark. Oh, that is a long video. That given that given the game's numerous challenging elements, he thought that reactions to Silent Hill would be far more divided. Yeah, because as of right now, it's fairly positive. But reception ended up being positive beyond his expectations. On the other hand, he notes, of course, that doesn't mean every future Silent Hill will be like Silent Hill. Each one will have its own distinct flavor. We want to keep experimenting and be ambitious, both in terms of gameplay design and storytelling, so please look forward to the next Silent Hill as well. Okay, that means we don't need the other article because that one is just going to be Silent Hill sold 1 million copies in a day because it's already in this one, but I'm still going to link it in the description box. Okamoto followed up on his statement via X, adding that he'd like to be bold with the series and offer a different kind of gameplay with each installment. On the other hand, he stresses that some Silent Hill traditions aren't meant to be broken. That I really like, that he knows that you should not break a Silent Hill game. Namely, the quality of the storytelling. Yes, definitely. I believe psychological stories are essential to what makes Silent Hill feel like Silent Hill. And we'll continue to place great importance on that in future works as well. I have my thoughts, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. Although it introduced a completely new setting and gameplay system, Silent Hill connects with the rest of the series through psychological horror. The spiritual journey of the protagonist as she faces Harris trauma? What is Harris trauma? Huh. Okay. Maybe her trauma and this is just an edit? I don't know. And inner turmoil is what ultimately makes Silent Hill like. Yeah. Okamoto told IGN Japan, it seems future entries will explore with different approaches to gameplay while maintaining this foundation. Yeah. First of all, I really like that he's addressing the, again, do not break the psychological horror stuff and so on, because there are a lot of great things in the game. Let's look at the Steam page for just a second here. We have 79% right now, so it dipped 3%. Was it at 82 before? Something like that. I don't remember, and honestly, it doesn't even matter. It's mostly positive. That's what it matters. And as you can see, 16.2 hours. I have that much in the game. We played it the first run on Twitch. I don't know if I'm going to play it another time, because my thoughts on the game are kinda mixed. Not kinda, they are extremely mixed. Yeah, there are a lot of positives in here. We're not going to look at the reviews because I don't want to spoil my thoughts on it right now. Let's pause this one here. The thing with Silent Hill F is, for me, again, it's the most Silent Hill-esque game that has ever been Silent Hilled. It's a good horror game. It has flaws, which is totally fine. I'm not judging the game that harshly because of its flaws. The flaws is basically just the combat system. I really did not like the combat system. That is not a big secret. What kept me playing was the story, because the story is intriguing, the story is kinda well written. Many things were a little bit confusing just because I didn't know the Japanese not the beliefs, I'm sorry, the terminology behind them. In the third stream, I'm sorry, a friend of mine told me that the last enemy is just the Japanese word for wedding dress. And stuff like that just went way over my head. I was not able to understand that because, again, I'm not fluent in Japanese. And that's totally fine. I mean, again, the story is intriguing. I liked the story and how it was presented. What I did not like is that you are trapped in the first ending. Because, like every other Silent Hill game, it has multiple endings, something which I really, really love. The issue here is, again, you are locked. You are really hard locked into that ending. And it's not a good ending for the protagonist, which again is totally fine that it's not a good ending for the protagonist. But it kinda took away many, many things that I had with the story, because there are so many times that the doll tells you don't trust the fox mask dude and so on, and Hinako is just, oh, let's follow him and so on. It was so weird. And there are some other things in there as well. Enemy design, you basically just have, what was it, 5 different enemies. You have the regular enemies, the puppets, the marionettes, however you want to call them. The scarecrows, I don't really care that they have a scarecrow skin. They are behaving the same as the other ones. One have a command grab and... No, both of them have a command grab, as far as I can remember. It doesn't matter, because they are just the same, basically. Then we have the dudes that lick your face after they dance. And what was it? Oh yeah, the dudes that spit on you. The pregnant monster. And yeah, the fat dude with the knife, which is also being recycled into a boss fight. And yes, there is another skin to that one, and I don't count that because it's basically the same encounter. Combos don't matter in the game because, as far as I'm aware of, the durability of the weapon, which again, I hate durability in weapons in video games. In Elden Ring, it was fine because it never had any impact on me, because you just rest and it's done again, as far as I can remember. It's been a while since I've played Elden Ring. But yeah, I've never had any issues with weapons breaking or something like that in Dark Souls or Elden Ring. And here it's just like, I'm just doing the heavy attacks because the durability is always taken with the same percentage like the light attacks. Why should I ever do a light attack when I get, I don't know, 5% off of my steel pipe, of my baseball bat, or whatsoever, when I'm doing a heavy attack that deals more damage? Yes, I'm not as mobile, but it doesn't matter. It's less hits to deal with an enemy. And then I saw, if you're playing it on hard difficulty, which I'm glad I didn't, the enemies just become sponges, which is ridiculous. So the combat system is really the thing where I will probably not going to play it again. It really sucked. And as far as I'm aware of, I watched a couple of videos now, and people are saying, yeah, you still have to do all the combat encounters again, even the forced ones, and you can't just run through the story. Because the thing is, there is you can skip cutscenes, but whenever there is a new cutscene or something changed in the cutscene, the game will tell you. That is awesome. So why is there no option for an easy mode or just a real story mode, and just call the story mode as it's right now normal or typical or Silent Hill or whatever? This is a really big issue to me. And also in the stream, I said that there are things of Onimusha in there, because you basically get an Oni gauntlet, you get a devil trigger from Devil May Cry, and the whole horror thing. Because, oh yeah, also, what was his name? I'm sorry, I already forgot. Okamoto? Wait, let me open the site. Okamoto, yes. It's an action horror game, which is totally fine, because I mistakenly named the game a survival horror game, which obviously it isn't. And with the devil trigger, you are immortal for about a minute or so. Yes, your devil trigger decreases whenever you get hit, but it doesn't matter. You don't get damaged. It's just that simple. You just run through the enemies. The ones that would resurrect will not resurrect when you kill them with your devil trigger. Otherwise, you have to use your Oni gauntlet and so on. But the psychological stuff was great. You have to use your sanity to dissolve walls. And this is so good. That was awesome. But again, it's mainly the combat system and the forced ending, because I've been left with so many questions, and up until the end I was really convinced that they try to push an agenda, that they try to push a narrative onto us, until it became clear that it's not, which I'm really, really glad for. I'm really happy that they did not try to push an agenda there. It still feels off to me, because now I need to play it at least 2 more times to know everything there, everyone on their first playthrough, which takes about 16 hours for me. Because maybe you've seen it, but I always was like, oh, I picked up items, let's go enshrine them, because we need the faith. And then we need to do this, let's go back to a shrine, let's go pray, and so on. There are so many things that were just like footwork, because I did not use the item except for enshrining them for faith, which also could have been done a little bit better. It felt like a chore. But you also need the faith to upgrade your stats. You need to upgrade your inventory for the Omamori. And I just did not want to interact with the system. I said it in the stream again. It would have been better just to either use the item as intended for health or stamina or for sanity, or just immediately discard it for faith. That would have been better, because the inventory system, it's an action horror game, it's not a survival horror game, as the director of the game said. So why the incredibly limited inventory system? This is something that is kind of fine, because we have this in Dead Space, we have this in Resident Evil, where it's better balanced for me personally. And here we had every first aid kit takes up 1 inventory slot, 3 bandages take up 1 inventory slot, but if you have more, it will take up more inventory slots, but you also need them. Toolkits have the same issue, but you also need those to, well, maintain your weapons because they break. And you were basically not able to take the items with you that you needed for faith, which is also, again, you really, really need faith in the game, as it is a currency. So pick the stuff up, go back to a shrine, enshrine it, get faith, use it on stat upgrades, and so on. It felt incredibly boring. And some of the puzzles were great. Well, the majority of the puzzles were great. It was only the scarecrow part that really stumped me the first time. And then I was like, oh, now I understand. Okay, let's do that. The box was really weird. Chat and I were just sitting there and everyone was like, what is this? What is happening right now? And yes, we played the puzzles on hard mode, but that one was really, really weird. So yeah, we had to look it up. And even after we looked it up, it didn't work at first. So that was weird. Then there was another one, but at that point I just wanted to go and finish the game. So I also looked that one up. Given it a little bit more time, I probably would have solved it. But yeah, the majority of the puzzles are great. Oh, also there was one point where you have to pick up a calendar in one of the houses. I'm not going to spoil that. And you have to put it on the wall. And I just did not know that I had to put a calendar there because I always went past that spot. That, of course, is my fault, so I had to look that up again because it was really, really weird. There was no indication whatsoever in a game where for every step you do, you get a hint on the top left, go there, do this, do that. Now that you have done this, do this. And it was like, why are you holding my hand that much in this way? But leave me out in the dry, in the heat, in the sun, burning to a crisp with other spots. Yes, I know I put it on hard for puzzles, but I went past that spot with the calendar where I have to hang it on the wall multiple times, and there was no button press or whatsoever indicator. So that one felt really, really weird. The other puzzles, yeah, that's totally on me. Oh, my headset just turned off and scared me. That was also way more scarier than the game. I'm sorry. My brain was faster than my tongue. So, at first I thought I'm just too desensitized with horror games because I play a lot of horror games, I watch a lot of horror movies, and it just didn't faze me most of the times. There were some parts where I thought, oh, okay, now it's getting good. But it was just so far and in between. My real indicator for that this is not a scary game are two friends of mine, one of which was also watching the stream, and she's a scaredy cat. She cannot handle horror, and she still watched it. She was still there, and yeah, she also told me all of the Japanese things and what they mean and so on. And when she can watch this game, it's not that scary. Well, we are just two people now, and I have another friend that also says the same. But the majority of people online are saying, yes, this is a scary game. So we are probably just outliers here. I should have written a script. Now I'm completely off kilter here. The other thing with the game is also when I talked about the puzzles, the combat system, the city is great. I really, really love how beautiful it is. The time, 1960, does nothing to me. Yes, there is an argument to be made with technology that phones, mobile phones, and so on, internet, blah, blah, blah. But as in the stream, mountain villages like this is nothing that can be in the 1960s back then, because again I grew up I'm sorry, I grew up in a mountain village in Turkey, and that was basically 20 years ago and so on. What I mean, I grew up, I say, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents there, and everything that you've seen in Silent Hill is basically that. There was basically nothing. The scariest things were snakes and bears, uh, but we also had water pumps. Technology wasn't that far. Power outages are a constant thing. And so I did not really understand why 1960s. Maybe because there are implications that Silent Hill is connected to the other Silent Hill games, the town of Silent Hill, and because the flower that grows there, the hallucinogen, is also being brought to the American states. And yeah, there is a coal mine. But other than that, it basically did nothing, because all the values of how to be a woman, how to behave in a society, and so on can still be used as of today, I think. But that is just me. Maybe I'm completely wrong here. That's totally a possibility. But being in a mountain village when you're so secluded, it wouldn't be that big of a surprise to be a little bit more back in time. But again, that might be just my perception of it. But yeah, that one also felt kinda, yeah, it's 1960s, that's why there are no guns. There were guns back then. It probably would have spiced the combat up a little bit, because again, weapon durability is, as in the Shadow Realm you do not have weapon durability, which is awesome. And there you had a Naginata, which was incredibly fun. But as the spaces are so tight, which I really like, you bumped your weapons, especially the big ones, everywhere. I had sections in the house, as an example, where I couldn't swing the sledgehammer because it just bumped into beams that went past rooms and so on. And I couldn't hit the enemy. I had to switch the weapons and so on. That was really annoying. I mean, it makes sense, yes, of course. But having such a big focus on combat, again, you have to fight the enemies. There is a very big incentive of fighting the enemies. I just can turn in a circle right now. It's the same. Again, I'm probably not going to play it again. Today I cannot stream, but tomorrow I just bought Hades 1. We're going to play that one probably tomorrow on stream. I still ponder the thought of staying on Twitch or rather go to YouTube because this is the main platform and just unlist the streams because I don't want to flood the channel, but I still have to think about that a little bit on how to do that. But yeah, I'm probably just going to stay on YouTube. Maybe, but there you can also help me please a little bit. For Silent Hill F, it's a good horror game. It's really being dragged down by the Silent Hill name because I'm always comparing it to other Silent Hill games. I love 1, 2, 4. Yes, 4 is a little bit mixed with the community. I really, really like it. And again, it's being dragged down a little bit because it cannot live up to those. At least for me. Again, it's about 80% mostly positive on Steam right now. It has sold very well. And I really want more Silent Hill games. As negative as I sound right now, I enjoyed my time. I'm, again, probably not going to play it again. I will probably just watch other content creators talk about their second and third run and fourth run and then the UFO ending. Because there has to be a UFO ending. It really has. And yeah, I don't know. I will just probably watch that one because I can use my time a little bit better and enjoy other games with better gameplay mechanics. Yeah, that's my overall thoughts. I'm not going to give it a score because whatever I do, it's probably going to be wrong. And I learned from my book review channel that scores mean nothing. I give it an F out of Silent Hill. What does the F stand for, by the way? I have to look that one up. But yeah, please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the things that make the dings. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more video game news every day. And by that, I of course mean like and subscribe. And if you want, you can share this video with your friends. And please turn off YouTube's restricted mode. Otherwise, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated. And I will see you tomorrow with the next video. Bye, bye, bye.